Hotep, my brothers and my sisters, good evening on this beautiful Wednesday evening. Welcome to the God in Action Ministry Spiritual and Culture Center, located here in the south end of Albany, New York. We want to say Hotep, greet you with a Hotep, which means peace in our ancient Kemetic language. Also, a mandala, which means power to the people. I want to see who's going to hang out with our brother today, with your brother today. All right. What we're going to do right now, brothers and sisters, we're going to put on some music and give you a chance to swing on in.
It's time, it's time, I know it's time, the generation,
I'm going to bring my sister in already. I'm going to bring you in. All right.
Millions of slave ships landed with chains and branded. 300 years of free labor. We're asking for no reparations for reconstruction. Race of destruction. Segregation and procreation. Reparations for the Constitution. Said we were 3/5 human. Reparations are overdue. 48 'cause they love you.
Time for reparation. You good, Queen
Yes,
Sirius Bee?
yes, indeed.
All right. Okay, my brothers and my sisters, once again, I greet you in our ancient Kemetic language, Hotep, which means peace, with our mandala, which means power to the people. Who's going to hang with their brother today, on tonight? Those of you who may watch this tonight, may watch this later on, may watch this through the week. We want to thank you for coming in, tuning in to our Wednesday conversation and information. We have a beautiful queen here, Queen Sirius Bee, who's going to take us back through her journey to Ghana, and we can get a lot of information and be enlightened through her journey. So we're looking forward to that. So those of you may come in, I see Sister Nikki.
Oh, shout
Hotep
out to
Queen,
Sister Nikki Hotep.
Hotep to you, Queen Sister. And I know I've been having problems. I don't want to say it's all the time. My notifications been going out. People calling my phone while I'm on live saying, "Are you on yet?" So we've been having this issue for a little while. So we're gonna be patient, but I'm not gonna make that an issue because we have a great sister here tonight ready to tell her story her own way. It's not staged. I'm not going to try to dictate how it goes. She's going to tell her story her own way. Those of you who may not know me, my name is James Anyabwile. I am the spiritual teacher, aka the awakener of the God in Action Ministry Spiritual and Culture Center, located here in the South End. The South End, you know, when you go south, you know it's a rough place, but the best place of Albany, New York. All right. So if you come in, please share with someone that you know. All right. We would appreciate that because once you come in, you're part of the family, the tribe, the village, the gang, the posse. All right. Each one teach one. I know I said a lot, but we all in this together. All right. So once again, Hotep, welcome. And we have once again, you see our beautiful Queen Sirius Bee in the house. How you doing, Queen Sister?
Oh, I'm great. Thank you for having me. I want to say EM Hotep, which means I come in peace. And then
Mm-hmm.
Uncle Ja Seneb Neb, which means life, prosperity, health, and divinity. And I want to say shalom and assalamu alaikum and akwaba, which means welcome in tree. So I wanted to say that. And then I want to say thank you to you. Much gratitude for reaching out to me and giving me an opportunity to share my story here on your show. Shout out always to the South End. I was born and raised in the South End of Albany, New York, and I was grateful to hear that such a spiritual center existed when my brother, Mr. X, I got to give a shout out to Mr. X, introduced me to you. So I want to just, thank you and I appreciate you for following me along my journey
You're welcome.
and having me on your show today.
Well, you welcome, Queen, and it's an honor to have you. Like I take what you do seriously. You was always willing to help out, and to share your gifts and your knowledge, to help us to reach the community, help reach the world. You know what I'm saying? And we on that journey right now. We just trying to reach the world, save the world, empower, uplift, deliver the world, enlighten the world, educate the world, one person at a time. Because what I've learned that Black people, our people, you want to say Black, Kebelanian, African, whatever name you want to call, our people have been compromised, and our attention span is short when it comes to information about ourselves, our culture, and our history. So, hey, but we're gonna keep doing the work, and those who are interested and those who want to grow, the only way you can grow, you have to know. All right. So once again, sister, um, you want to share, who you are and some things about you, in your own way.
Yes, so thank you. So I know you mentioned the word share and everything. So I just ask people, please like, comment, and share. I read that if you ask the people to take action, that they will. So I just would ask that the audience does that. It means a lot and it helps us grow. So my name
Mhm.
is Sirius B, and I would consider myself a visionary and an entrepreneur. I recently launched my own business back in 2020 during um, the pause. The pause, I
Mm.
like to call it in the world. So I am an entrepreneur, and I also like to see myself as a counselor to many. Yes.
Okay.
So, and I was born and raised here in Albany, New York. Went through the standard traditional school system, and also did most of my work here in Albany in the past.
Hmm. Okay, great. And it was a blessing, like to have you participate in some of our events that we've done in the community. And when we did, we had some great events. People really supported us, and a lot of things changed since the pandemic. But we still here. We still have a heartbeat, and we're still rebuilding like everybody else. All right, and that makes it more exciting when you rebuild. All
Yeah.
right. So
Mhm.
I have a question for you. Yes, sister. Did I cut you off?
No, I'm listening.
So we're going to just get into your Sankofa experience.
Mm.
Sankofa is talking about the return back to your motherland, to who you are, your origin. And our queen sister have made, if I'm wrong, correct me, sister, 3 trips back to Ghana.
Yes, yes, yes,
Yes,
yes, yes.
and she not too long ago have returned from
Mhm.
the third trip, correct?
Yes.
Yes. So, hey, listen, we have a traveler here, and I just want to ask a question just to start the conversation going, and you can just move from there. If I'm moving too quick, let me know. Okay. You've been to Ghana 3 times, all right, and you recently came back from one of your journeys, and I was going to ask the question: out of all the countries in Africa, what led you to go to Ghana?
Okay. Well, that's a good question, and I like to thank you for asking such a thoughtful question.
Hmm.
What stroke my interest with going to Ghana was really my initial journey to get back to my roots.
Hmm.
So here I was suffering from depression and anxiety, and I used to have I used to have suicidal thoughts
Mm.
because I was practicing a culture that did not align with my DNA and my blood type and my African ancestry. So, in order to undo those negative thoughts, I said I have to go back to my roots. So, when I thought about that, I thought about Africa. And then when
Hmm.
I thought about Africa, I wanted to know what country would welcome me when I didn't have any connection to my roots. I didn't know which direction to go. So I
Hmm.
learned that Ghana had the right of abode, which allows you to come back if you have African roots.
Hmm.
There are some stipulations. So if people are interested, they would just go to the Ministry of Interior website in Ghana, Google it, you can find the information. But that was one of the things that drove me to Ghana. Another thing that drove me to Ghana was that I listened to a powerful speech by Dr. Kwame Nkrumah,
Hmm.
and his speech was so moving to me when he talked about how we should operate in unity in terms of goods and services and spirituality among Africans everywhere on the planet. So
Hmm.
when I learned that he helped Ghana liberate itself, I was also attracted to that thought process. And then I knew that we had the castles, Elmina and Osu, and I'm sorry, I forgot the name of the third castle, but I know that the slave castles were there where many slaves were brought through. So I wanted to go for all of those reasons.
Okay. Like I don't want to take you off course or anything, but the castles, the slave castles, caught my attention. And I'm quite sure you have visited the castles before since you've been going to Ghana.
Yes, yes. In 2019, when I first went, which just happened to be the year of return. At the time, I wasn't going because they called it that. It just was a time that I was called to go. So during that time, I did go to Elmina Castle.
Okay. Okay. I want to ask, like, what was your experience? What was the energy that you felt, if there was any energy that you felt? Because I've been seeing some videos, some disturbing videos where our people coming from America and other places, going over there, and they doing twerking videos in and around the castle and putting it on Facebook and Instagram. You know what I'm saying? As if it's like some kind of entertaining, unimportant place to be.
Hmm.
I don't know if you
Hmm.
ever seen those some videos.
Hmm. I've seen videos of twerking
Mhm.
before, but not in the castles.
Yeah.
What I would say is that I believe that there is an energy there, and then twerking, that form of African dancing, it has a history to us. So it's somewhere in their DNA, and maybe that energy may have activated that, but it was not at the appropriate time for them to express that type of energy. I think it's because sometimes there's a disconnect that in fact the people who were taken is in fact you. So it feels like it happened to somebody else.
Mhm.
That slavery didn't happen to me. It happened to them. So
Mhm.
it's
Mhm.
anyhow. What I would tell you is that when I entered the castle, I did have such energy come over me. One was a lot of emotional energy. And I would say it probably affects people differently based upon the knowledge that you have when you're going there. So if you studied it and you know that things in life have a purpose and that there is an opposite to every negative,
Mhm.
then you may not necessarily go in there and pass out. But if you go in there and you start to envision the whipping, because when you go in, for me, I know that in my brain, I started to vision the lashing, the right? And I'm not even sure if that is something maybe I saw on a movie
Mhm.
that I put together, or if that is something that happened in that castle that is now just becoming a memory to me. So I saw things like that. I saw people weeping and crying and blood. But I didn't
Mm.
see like blood, physically. I would just say those images flashed in my head while I was in there,
Right. Mhm. Mhm.
and it smelled accordingly.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mhm. And when I was talking, that's deep. That's deep. When I was talking about the twerk, I'm not gonna hang my hat there. There was people who came from America, and I'm quite sure they was not knowledgeable of their culture, their history, and the seriousness of what took place there. That you know what I'm saying. So it wasn't like a cultural thing. It was taking some hip hop stuff down there, and this. I thought it was disrespectful, but anyway, just wanted to just to clear that part up. But when you arrived there, matter of fact, this right here is important. Is important to me. How long did it take you to get down there by plane? Because I'm trying to get used to planes. One day, my life mission, if I leave this earth, is to make it to the motherland, to Africa. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? But I'm just started getting on planes, little short stints, 2 hours, 3 hours. That's all I've been on. I'm trying to build it up. How long did it take for you to get down there to fly to Ghana?
Okay. The flight to Ghana from Washington, D.C. is 11 hours if you
Ooh.
take a no stop flight. There are other flights that you can take where you can have multiple stops and take breaks in the airport if you feel like you can't do 11 hours straight.
Mm.
So you may fly into Europe, which is like 7 hours, and then maybe sit there for a 3 hour layover. It might be a 12-hour layover. I don't want to get into all of that because the layovers
Right,
can get
right, right, right,
complicated.
right, right,
But
right,
you
right.
can kind of take those routes if you feel like you need
Mm-hmm.
breaks in
Mm-hmm.
between. But if you feel like you can handle the long stretch flight, you take it. And I would tell you that I've flown in coach, where it's like, the least expensive seat.
Okay.
And then I've had to upgrade that because going through the flight, I have to be honest and say, in coach, I did start to feel very anxious.
Mm.
Um, I did start to feel some tingling in my feet. And so I had to make sure I had compression socks. There's balls you can buy with spikes that you can rub on the bottom of your feet to keep the blood circulating.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of deep breathing during that flight. There was a lot of meditation. There was a lot of self-talk. Like, um, and then of course there's other ways that people try to put themselves to sleep. I don't know, there's options that people take some type medication. knocks them out for the flight.
Mm,
Whatever remedy, some people drink. They offer alcohol on the plane. They'll give you wine. So some people drink, but there's TV. I mean, movies. You can bring books. You can bring magazines. You can bring pen and paper. Bring snacks. Um,
okay,
you
beautiful.
can, bring all kinds of things to make yourself comfortable. Neck pillows and yeah.
Okay. If I'm just asking a question because I'm gathering information for myself. So if I'm asking too many questions, please let me know. All right. If I'm taking your
Okay.
course, let me know. Okay. All right. With one more thing, I definitely want to get to, now that you got there. You said you went to the castles and stuff like that. You felt the energy in the slave castles and your experience there. When you get to uh, Ghana, right? Was the people welcoming? I'm gonna let you answer that, then go into whatever you're going to, and I'm just going to listen. Were they welcoming? Was it welcome home, daughter? Uh, Kumbaya, praise the Lord, Hotep, or you know, what was that? What was that like?
Yes, it was exactly as you described it, which is why I love to go there. That
Hmm.
is one of the most precious features of going or experiences of going to Ghana is that the people are very loving, very friendly, and very welcome.
Okay. Oh, so you wait for me to ask you a whole bunch of questions, huh?
Well, I mean, I could go on from there. I could just tell you that when you exit, into the airport, there's going to be someone there who is going to offer to assist you with your bags, or to carry and put them on the push cart and to show you where the exit is. Once you go outside, there's going to be drivers waiting for you out of their cars, waiting to take your bags from you to give you a ride. And then they're going to offer you, they can take you to the local restaurant, they can take you to the hotel. Uh, it's all nice. Their cars are clean, they're well dressed, they're
Hmm.
well groomed.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's
Now,
just it's
was it
nice.
was that the city part, or that's how it is all throughout?
When
That's a
you go in,
rhetorical
when you get
question.
off, I'm talking about the experience once you get off the plane and get into the
Okay.
airport.
Okay.
Those people
Hmm.
are very, very helpful. And then once you get into the cars and then you start going into the towns and the villages, you're gonna have all kinds of different experiences.
Okay.
Um, but ultimately, very, very peaceful people.
Okay. Okay. So when you went there, you was in the towns, or you stayed in the village or the towns or something like that. When you went there and you stayed.
Yes.
So
Throughout the 3 times that I was there, I've stayed in different demographic areas and
okay.
different locations. I've
Okay.
stayed in hotels, and then I've stayed in homes in cities, and then I've stayed in homes in villages, and then I stayed in resorts by the river. So I've
Okay.
had different experiences in terms of the culture, customs, and the traditions.
Okay. Coming from the hells of North America and going back to Africa, was there like was it difficult adjusting to the way they did things compared to here? A lot of stuff is convenient here. That's my opinion. In America, it's just convenient. Was it just as convenient down there, or was there something you had to really adjust to get used to?
Hmm, good question. I feel like it was balanced. There were many things that were inconvenient, and then there were many conveniences.
Okay.
So the many conveniences is that you can get things sold to you on the street while you're walking, while you're driving in your car. They're gonna be out in the traffic in the inner city areas for the most part, but this happens throughout the villages. They'll have toilet paper, they'll have plantains, they may have car air fresheners, they may have bath rugs, they may have books, they may have flashcards like flashlights. As you drive along the street and you stop at the red light, they're coming to
Hmm.
your car. So it's like that is a convenience. You don't have to exit. You can do all your shopping all the way
Mm-hmm.
home, and
Mm-hmm.
it's real quick transacting, and it's pretty much the same set of things being sold, so you know exactly what you can find on the road and what you can't. And then there's the inconveniences of things like not really having laundromats,
Mm.
a lot of them, and washing your clothes out of a bucket, or you can take them to someone else who will wash them for you. And then people who do have like washing machines or washing, it'll be like a wash and serving business where you drop your clothes off, they wash for you, and you go back and pick them up. So that was, I felt like, was an inconvenience. And then the, their infrastructure is still in development.
Okay.
So roads and highways don't connect like they do here in America, where there's like a lot of grid, north, south, east, west. There's
Mm-hmm.
long stretches of highway. You might have to go 3 miles before you can make a turn. So
Gotcha.
those things were inconvenient. So if you're going to a business on the opposite side of the road, you got to drive past it to
Wow.
come around and come back. And then if
Mm.
you miss it, right? So it's certain things like that. And then also, just in terms of doing business and record keeping. So when you go to a bank to say you want to open up a bank account, you don't have to fill out an application by hand with a clipboard and a pen. And then somebody's going to sit there and type that into the computer for you and things like that. So it's like, oh, we can't do this online? No, not yet.
Mm.
Um, and there's not a lot of the traffic lights and stop
Okay.
signs and street roads and things. So sometimes in busy areas, there's a lot of confusion of who's supposed to go first, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes the areas can be unsafe for walking because children have to pass this road, but there's no stop lights. And so it's just things that could be developed.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other conveniences I like is that there's this sense that people in Africa are starving or something. And I'm like, no, you can walk through Africa and see fruit literally growing on the trees
Mm.
all around you. You see a mango, you can see a plantain, you can see the coconuts. And then there are plenty of edible herbs growing out of the ground that you can just pull out to
Mm-hmm.
feed yourself. So that concept that starvation is there, starvation is really a mindset.
Gotcha.
So that was a convenience also, to be able to just go out in the yard and get sour sop off of the tree and sit down and eat it versus go to the grocery store.
Mm-hmm.
So anything, any other conveniences or anything like that?
No, no. What about transportation? I mean, um, was it? Did you walk? Did you well, like if you go out there? I mean, I'm not trying to make it sound like they going to Africa or Ghana, whatever, is archaic. I'm just like saying, like, was it difficult? Because like I'm comparing it from where we are, where everything is, like I said, so convenient, so easy, uh, timely. Buses, Ubers, cabs, and whatever. And when you go to Ghana, was it the same things available, or was it more difficult to travel to get around to where you wanted to go? Maybe sightsee, visit different places to explore.
Mm, okay. So I would tell you no. Ghana has plenty of transportation, and actually, they tend to be even more unique in providing ways of transportation than I see here in the States. So
Mm-hmm.
they have Uber, they have another company called Bolt, which is similar to Uber, just like we have Lyft. And they have more taxis than New York City could ever shake a stick at.
Mm-hmm.
People have a lot of own personal vehicles. The roads are saturated with cars. They travel around on bicycles. There are people who will deliver you furniture. They will put furniture on. I seen a man on a bicycle. He had a headboard on his head and was delivering it to somebody. So I've seen them use bicycles for furniture delivery. I've
Mm-hmm.
seen them mount wagons on back of motorcycles and use that to deliver products. I've seen them ride around on motorized roller skates. I've seen them use skateboards. Like every
Mm-hmm.
form of
Mm-hmm.
transportation you can think of, and I've seen them use in Ghana. I even seen somebody walking on stilts.
Mm. Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when I talk about convenience, I realize. I mean, I've learned that convenience is good, but it also makes a person lazy. So when you don't have all those conveniences, you can still have a strong work ethic. You know what I mean? You're not as lazy. Well, as places like in these modern day places, like in America and other places. Not saying that Ghana don't have any modern areas either. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to sound like I'm saying that. Okay, so I'm listening. One thing
Okay.
is, go ahead. I'm
So
listening. Go ahead.
let me talk about the conveniences though, and what's something that's very common in Ghana that may not be so common here. And that
Okay.
is like where you use the bathroom or the washroom or release
Okay.
yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So in Ghana, it's not as developed. So plenty of places do not have um, indoor plumbing, but plenty of places do. I don't want people to get a misnomer that it's most. There
Right.
are just a large area that doesn't. So there are still outhouses.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's very common for people to urinate anywhere on the side of the house. You can be on a long stretch road drive and somebody's going to stop, jump out the car, and go to the bathroom. Like they're not going to try to hide behind the tree.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so they're not going to try to even shade their private. And it's no one says anything. It's just kind of like, hey, that's nature.
Mm-hmm.
And you just go. So that might be shocking to you when you walk outside and you're like, you know, see a woman coming from church squatting or something like that.
Gotcha.
So it's like, and it's just like, hey, and it's like, hey, okay. So that is a big difference you have to be mindful of. And then what I feel like too is like in terms of having your clothes made, there are a lot of clothes in Ghana that come in from like countries outside of Ghana. This clothing wasn't made there, and
Yeah.
it's a dumping spot for donation clothes. So they have plenty of that they sell on the road as used.
Okay.
But the beauty also on the other side of that is that there are plenty of seamstresses and tailors in your neighborhood. So you can just step outside and there may be a sailor or a seamstress, right across the street. Like we have corner stores,
Mm-hmm.
and you can go in, and some of them already have cloth in there. They'll take your measurements right then and there, and have something made for you in 2 to 3 days at fractions of the cost. So I kind of like that idea also,
Mm-hmm.
and there are not many fast food places like how we have a lot of McDonald's and Burger
Right.
King and things like that. Well, there you see a lot of fresh food being cooked in shops or on the roadside. So you'll see fresh fish being grilled on a
Mm-hmm.
fish. A woman might be grilling that with some onions and peppers, and it's coming right off the charcoal grill. And
Mm-hmm.
she's smiling, and she done went and got the fresh fish and brought them to the road. So that is nice. And they make their food with love. They take care to clean it and wash it and prepare it well because they know they're selling to each other
Mm-hmm.
and they see each other as family. So it's not about, I just want to get rich. If I make you sick, then,
Right.
so I do see them sanitize a lot because I feel like there's this misnomer I've heard, Africans are dirty. And I'm like, no, when you live in a climate where dust is everywhere, you
Mm-hmm.
have to understand you are the dust. But when they come to terms of preparing their foods and things like that, they they do practice a good hygiene.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, to me, I've learned. Just my opinion. That's one of the tricks. They tell us Africa is poor, is diseased, is dirty, is nasty, is underdeveloped to keep us away from there. but those who are saying it go up there and buy it all up, take over it and everything else because they know it's prime real estate, prime land. You know what I'm saying? So, um, so you was talking about food. Is there a traditional dish that you have noticed that they make maybe on a daily basis or they sell all the time, like a traditional dish in Ghana?
Yes, there are a few traditional dishes that they sell every day. I would
Okay.
say that fufu is very, very popular in Ghana.
Okay. Okay.
Fufu. And then they have a dish called wachi, which is rice and beans. They
Mm-hmm.
usually serve that for breakfast. And then they have another dish called contumely, which is made with green leaves and palm oil.
Hmm.
So those dishes, and then I think, did I say jollof?
No, you say it now. It's like a
Jollof.
rice jollof.
Oh my
Mm-hmm.
goodness, the jollof. Mm-mm-mm. And there's many more, but those are the dishes that stand out to me the most. I saw those on a regular basis.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. One thing I do love eating different types of foods because I think it's like art. You know, art you have when you paint is different colors. So I think food is like an art too, different flavors, textures, and all seasonings, herbs,
Mhm.
and different things like that. And but I know about the fufu because I went to this African. You know where I'm talking about, I believe, in African restaurant in Harlem, and it's right by 125th Street. And
Mhm.
I said, "Yo, give me something that you recommend. Some fufu, some uh, peanut soup, but it was with fish in it.
Yeah.
So I came home, looked on YouTube, and learned how to make that monjaki. I didn't know how to. I didn't never learn how to make the fufu though. But I learned how to make the peanut soup uh, with the fish or the chicken,
Yeah.
man, or the vegetables. I
Hmm.
learned that. And throw the okra up in there, man. Listen.
Yes. Yes.
Hmm.
Yes. Yes. So if you like those type of things, when I
Yeah.
was there, I went to a market in Castlewood. It was called the New Castlewood New Market. And when I was there, it was an absolutely amazing experience because they had all of those ingredients that you
Wow.
need to make the soup, like you
Hmm.
said. But it
Hmm.
comes, so what happens is that the market gets a delivery twice a week. So it comes in from the farms. And it's pretty awesome because for the most part, men tend to bring it in. They come in with big trucks. So you see fresh tomatoes and onions and the ground up paste and the smoked fish, right? It's all
Hmm.
coming in. And then the women tend to sit in the market and distribute it. And then they have big areas where you'll see big things of spices,
Hmm.
thyme, oregano, cumin, turmeric, ginger, and just all those excellent spices. Um,
Hmm.
and, just
Right. Right.
so much abundance of it.
Right. Did you learn the bring back some of the recipes and try them, or you enjoy the
So,
food?
so I did not cook any of the recipes when I came back because I have to admit that I am a person who spends a lot of time online. Okay. And when
Mhm.
I was in Ghana, someone cooked for me. So
Okay.
the person who cooked for me most of the time was an excellent, excellent, excellent cook. So I was like, no, I don't want I don't want to cook anything. Just you guys just keep cooking and that is it. But I do know that at some point I will learn to cook those dishes because when you cook with the ingredients from scratch, there's
Hmm.
no guilt when you eat the food because everything is organic and it tastes delicious.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah.
So I would encourage you to keep eating those recipes and then maybe one day, some type of cookbook or something.
Hey, I love it. I mean, I'll buy it one time and look on YouTube. YouTube is, man, that could be your best friend sometimes. Look on
Yes.
YouTube, and sometimes I cook. I feel like I cook. It tastes just as good or better. you
Yes.
know, and save me
Mhm.
$25, $30 for a dinner, cooking at home.
True. So speaking of YouTube, you got to tell them what's your channel. Like, follow, comment, share.
Okay, we on YouTube. You can find us on James Anyabwile on YouTube, James Anyabwile. You can find us on Facebook under God in Action Ministries. God in Action Ministries. All right, you can find us on those two channels. Uh, at any time, we on every week. You know, each Sunday, and also during the weekday. You know, and so you can come check us out on YouTube with James Anyabwile. Come on, go on in and check us out. Press the like and subscribe. We're trying to build that up over there. You
Like,
know what I'm
like,
saying?
like.
Yeah, yes. See, I'm learning. I'll say, see, like. Okay, like. Do the like thing. You know, get the like dance up in there. You know, you see some names here. Like I said,
Share,
Nikki
share,
here.
share. Yes.
Like, share, all that stuff. You know, and got a brother Kamal Carr, Care. I don't know if it's
Mm-hmm.
brother or sister Carr. Truly Divine, Shawana. We thank you for
Hey.
tuning in. We got some people. Daughter
Yeah.
Iris on we on YouTube now, we on Facebook now too. So I'm only seeing one, but someone on the other one also. All right. And there's people who watch. They tell me afterwards, hey, I saw you on. I said, well, I didn't see your name. Well, you know, they say, well, you know, you can watch without coming all the way in.
Mm-hmm.
I said, yeah, okay. I know. Sometimes I do that to some people too. You know, I can
Yeah.
watch their stuff without coming in where you see my name.
Yeah, it's true.
And yeah,
So,
you can do that. Yeah.
yeah.
So
So I'm
yeah,
grateful. I'm happy. I'm grateful for all of those people. And then,
yes,
yes.
yes,
So
definitely appreciate
I
you.
think beforehand that we had talked about, like, I wanted to talk about relationships, like the courting, the dating life. I think a lot of people would be interested in that.
Okay, before we go there, can I ask you one more question? This is one question.
Oh,
Okay,
okay,
but we're gonna deal with the dating thing. Let you run with that. Okay.
okay.
Um, is it expensive living over there, or vacationing over there, or whatever you do? You know, is it expensive?
Okay.
That's
Well,
the only
so
question.
what I would say to you is that it can be just as expensive living here.
Okay.
Um, and then there. So what I'm trying to say is that there are certain items, certain services and labor that are significantly cheaper there than here. Okay. So I could probably go there and get a pineapple for about 50 US cent, right? But then
Hmm.
go into the market here and spend about $4 or $5 for one pineapple. So that's much cheaper to feed yourself.
Right.
I
Okay.
may be able to go have a dress made and I may be able to pay 10 US dollars to have a whole dress sewn. That's not happening here in America. Right? So certain things, but then because there are no factories in Ghana and they are not creators of their own product, they import many things, many necessities. So there's high tax and import duties and fees on those things. So then you the consumer is the one who absorbs the cost for that. So I may go over there and say, hey, I want to ship a car to Ghana. And let's say it costs $2,000 to put it on a boat. And then when you get it into Ghana, it may cost you 3 or 4 thousand US just to clear it.
Mm.
So now you're talking about a sedan that might have been only 4 or 5 thousand book value, something used, not too fancy. So it's like you just have to have money there because they're gonna find a way to get you with those things. And then certain appliances, everything's coming from China. They have China and Japanese cars saturated over there. So now you have to import all the car parts. So now you're paying higher for car parts. So it's like it is just wise to have a good amount of income streams coming in no matter where you are. And one of the things that also could be trivial living in Ghana is that the value of their money is based upon how strong the dollar is.
Mm,
So there are sometimes when one of their dollars could be equal to 10 of our dollars. But then it may be times where one of their dollars has gotten as high as 13, 14, sometimes even 15 US. And then sometimes it has been in the past where it's been one where it might go down to 9, 8, or 7. And that could happen a day or two apart. You could go to sleep and wake up and it's went up $3 overnight. So then
hmm.
immediately you wake up and the gas, the price of gas just went like that
Right.
overnight. So they have to constantly regulate their prices. So a lot of places there's no fixed pricing. You're not going to go in a lot of places to see a price on something because every day it's a negotiation. No, it's 10 today. Oh no, it's 12 tomorrow. Oh, it's like
Gotcha.
so it's just best to just have income. That's all I can tell you to
I hear
keep up
you.
with all of it.
Okay, I hear you.
Mhm.
Let me go. Let me let you get into your relationships up in Ghana. All right, go get into the relationship thing out there. Go ahead.
Okay. So what I would say about relationships in Ghana is that I talk about it from like a family perspective.
Mm-hmm.
First is that they are very much nuclear um family, I mean traditional family structure where they take care of their elderly. So I want to
Mm,
shout out to just not just people in Ghana, but people who actually take care of their elderly. Because
yes.
yes, when I was there, I didn't witness many retirement homes and senior citizen buildings. I'm seeing grandmothers in the homes helping to care for the grandchildren.
Mm-hmm.
And then in exchange for that care that they provide for the children usually support their parents. And then it cuts down on the need of daycare and, having people care for your children who may not have the same morals and values as you do and things like that. So that I played a lot of honor and respect to, which is another reason why I gravitate toward there because I'm like, as I age, I would definitely want to be in an area that
Mm,
takes care of their elderly.
yes.
So,
Yes. Yes.
yes, they do that very well. And they see their children as gifts from whatever deity that they, the Most High, if it's God, if it's Yahweh, if it's Jesus, or, whatever the Yoruba names and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
So, but they see their children as gifts and they are proud of their children. Um, and women display that and they carry their children on their backs with them, tie them up and
Mm-hmm.
carry them where they go. And yes, yes, they really do love their children. And then in the other relationships in terms of man and woman, what I would say is what I've learned is that there's some traditional roles that are heavily practiced there that may not be heavily practiced here in terms of maybe the woman being subservient to the man
Okay.
and the man being the breadwinner and the woman would be the home caretaker and care for the children. And I did witness that there are times when a woman's uh, thoughts or values may be diminished because she is in fact a woman.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also saw women caring for their husbands and their partners in a very loving way. Women, cooking very healthy meals, have laundered their husband's clothes so he can work the next day and have ironed them and um, make sure that when he comes home, there's food cooked and that the house is clean. They're very tentative to the needs of their man. And in return, the men seem to be tentative to the needs of a woman in terms of providing her with the shelter and, keeping things repaired on the land. picking weeds and keeping the lawn clean and things of
Mm-hmm.
that nature. So I saw a lot of that happening. Um, and then, as a woman who lives here in the United States and going over to Ghana, as when I went over there as a single woman, I did
Mm-hmm.
go in and experience dating in Ghana and even getting married in Ghana. And what I would tell people is that when you meet someone from another country, is to take your time to get to know a person and learn the traditions and the cultures and um and the way a person was raised, their belief systems and what they were
Mm-hmm.
exposed to through their childhood and as growing up. When you decide to intermingle and have, you know, those types of relationships. So I would just say take your time to get to know a
Mm-hmm.
person. And then also that words can go a long way. And then sometimes actions may not go as long. So just both, and for both men and women, is to just be mindful of what is being spoken versus what is being done, or what you see being done when you're trying to date in these types of relationships.
Hmm. Would you say is it well? Uh, this could be a rhetorical question, but dating American men compared to men from Guyana, is there a real big difference between the two?
I feel like it's a big difference. Yes and no, because you see, I did date many, right? So I don't have a lot to really compare. But what I would say
Right.
from my own experience is that um, the man in Ghana would tend to serve his woman more
Hmm.
and treat her like a queen.
Okay.
So if she has some needs that need to get met, it's like he feels honored to meet those needs. So it's like his duty. It's like, yes, what do you need? Yes, I can take care of that for you. That's no problem. There's no complaints. Not like, oh, you always asking me, I'm stressed. So what I would say also, to just add on to that, because I think that this is important, is that when I was there, I didn't recognize or see or witness a lot of drug or alcohol abuse in the communities. So when you interact with the men, they're not really interacting from a lot of place of trauma or
Oh, okay.
addiction either. So a lot of that I see here. So that's why I think the connections can be more loving.
Okay. Okay. Would you say is that where that's what you observe where you are, or would you say that's all around Ghana? What you're talking
I
about?
feel like it's just African tradition, period, where
Okay.
it's just that strong family structured
Mm-hmm.
mindset. They hold marriage in high order and
Mm-hmm.
high esteem. I'm saying they hold marriage in high esteem, and they all look to be married and have that partner because they understand that that's where the growth comes from.
Mm-hmm.
So they respect the growth from the unity and the partnership of that.
Okay. It's beautiful. I'm listening, sis.
Okay, and what I would say also too is that I would tell ladies, a lot of African men want children, or want children just period, or desire to have plenty or as many as they feel God or the universe or the creator says that they want. And in the dating scene, they could mislead you in that area. And they could tell you that they don't want children or they don't want many, and then they really really do, because they know that in over here in America, some of us may tend to shy away from having many because of the financial responsibilities, and then
Mm-hmm.
we can't eat off the land. I'm not going to go outside here in Albany, New York, and be able to pull a mango off the tree. So my worry about taking care of a kid is different from the woman in Africa who may just go get the mango and feed her baby. And then, there's breastfeeding. So a lot of them women stay at home, they can breastfeed. So feeding is not so much of an issue.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll tend to just have their babies freely with no worry that nature's going to give them what we need. Us women over here in America is like, no, I got to buy diapers. Oh, I got to buy daycare. Oh, I got to feed. Oh, so I don't want that many. So they may tell you they don't want many because, you know, so you have to be mindful of that because I've situations where you come together with one and then they say they don't want many, and then when you say you don't want to have any, they tell you they're entitled to have another woman because now you refuse to give children.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like just be mindful of that, like that. And then what I would say with the men is to be mindful of dating like some woman from the diaspora is that many of us have been programmed and are disconnected from our culture, and some of us are coming from trauma, and some of us didn't have the fathers in the home, and we might be suffering from the mass incarceration or the crack era or something like that. So when we go over there, we may be a little rough around the edges, and so for them to have some patience in the healing process of us as we try to get reacclimated and get into our feminism and things of that nature.
Mm-hmm. Well, I heard went to over here in America how we've been Americanized, Europeanized, and people go to Africa, right? And they go with their cockiness, and that's a serious turnoff from the people from the continent. Um, did you find yourself having to change some of your ways a little bit to not look too arrogant to them or too intelligent? No, I don't use the word intelligent, arrogant, because
Mm.
American is arrogant. You know what I'm saying? To other countries, did you feel you had to kind of tweak a little of your ways to not look like you was above them? Because you come from a more industrialized country.
Well,
If that's making any sense, the
yes,
question. Yeah.
you make sense, yes. So what I would say is that I did do it, but it wasn't because I was afraid of a reaction or that
Hmm.
someone might be rubbed the wrong way by me or my ego or my personality. What I did was to prevent begging, to be
Oh,
honest.
okay. Gotcha.
So there were times where I didn't want to wear like my necklaces or, you know, certain pieces of jewelry.
Hmm.
I may have wanted to downplay. I may have had a tailor-made dress or something and not wore it that day and wore something more traditional to
Hmm.
not have people come to beg. Yeah. Um, so what I would tell you is that I've done some work on myself. So the reason why I didn't dim my light as to not offend anyone is because I
Hmm.
knew I would be doing myself a disservice.
Hmm.
Because I would say to those people that you just have to get to know me and not make judgment from the light. So I would have just shine light if it wasn't for people sometimes asking. Yeah,
Hmm.
that's it.
Okay. I'll let you continue the relationship if you have some more you want to share. I do have a question, but I want you to continue without me stopping
Oh,
you.
okay. I think I covered enough in that
Okay.
area of relationship, just telling people to do their due diligence and I'm taking their time to get to know, validate some things, and
Hmm.
yeah, and then learn to and really, really put a keen eye on cultural differences.
Okay. What do they think about Americans?
Well, um,
What's that word you use today?
from yeah, from my interactions, every single person that I met treated me like I was some superstar because I was from America.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't that some people may think it's like, well, you think you're all that from your America. It's like, no, you're from America. Oh, welcome Akwaba, and let us show you around and feel comfortable here, and let us get this for you. They became, you know, they start to serve you right away. And they have a belief that everyone from America is rich. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so that kind of makes it tough because they don't understand how we pay bills and,
Mm-hmm.
things of that. So
Mm-hmm.
that is something that I wish uh, would just go away because it made it hard at times for me to be myself. And I would just go to acquire a service, and then I don't want to go alone because I feel like they're going to overcharge because they think I have it like that.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes that got to be like pretty dismaying. I have to
Mm-hmm.
admit.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I want to ask a question about spirituality, but before I do that, I want to do this before Queen Sirius Bee get on me about this. Brothers and sisters, please, am I supposed to say please? Go to YouTube, James Anyabwile, Anyawbile. Please go over there and subscribe, like, share, press the notification bell. So when I come on or when our platform come on, you'll be notified. You can come in and see what we do. All right. Because we have a lot more great things coming. And you also can go to our Facebook. Yes, yes, I remember. Let me cut you off. Go to our Facebook, God, God in Action Ministries. God in Action Ministries. Go there and press follow, or I think it's like and order notification, whatever. When we come on, you'll know we're coming on, and you'll be able to tune in when anytime that we come in. You know what I'm saying? And I guarantee you, we won't be dissatisfied. It won't be the waste of your time. Believe me, we don't play with your life. We don't waste your time. Okay, we're about elevating our people and strengthening our people. All right, with truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. Would appreciate that, brothers and sisters. I see a Regina, Queen Regina. How you doing there? Queen Naisha, all of you Queen sisters, you're on the house, and King brothers, you're here. Naisha, brother, it says Rob Buckner, but it's Kiamu, brother Kiamu. If you kind of interpret that word as mean unifier, he said, love the sharing conversation, beautifully bridging the gap in knowledge of self. Thank you, Queen Sirius B.
Yes, thank you.
Ashe.
Yes, yes, thank you to everyone.
Ashe. I mean, we don't
Forever
take,
grateful.
yes, we do not take your presence lightly. One of you is worth more than 1,000. One of you. So all of you here is worth more than 1,000. All right? A piece. Ashe. Queen
Okay.
Sirius B. Spirituality. I know that white folk, being real, Europeans, the powers that be, our open enemy, the true bobs, the Neanderthal caucasoids, whatever you want to call them, use scientific biological terms, we know that they have infiltrated our land, right? And we know that they have infiltrated to a point where they have tried to erase our culture and our history. And culture means how people do certain things, how they live a certain way, how they just do things. In Ghana, when it comes to spirituality, have they um, do they embrace their ancient African spiritual systems? I'm not going to tell you. I'm not asking you to go into the technical details about spiritual systems, or have they been infiltrated with the what they call the European version of Christianity?
Hmm.
What
Well,
have you noticed since you've been there? Since you've been going there?
well, I noticed since I've been going there that there are many who actually do practice the traditional systems. So
Okay.
I would like to say I am grateful because I was taken to a village called Aquamufi, where they
Okay.
still practice some of those traditional practices of pouring libation with
Mm-hmm.
spirits and meditation and prayer.
Mm-hmm.
And I had that actually done for me, and I was able to record it. And so I would share that with you at some point.
Beautiful.
And
Appreciate
then, yes, so I also saw plenty of people wearing their ankhs. I gotta turn. Wait, oh, let me flip it around. Let me flip it. I got the ankh. Okay,
it. There we
yes,
go.
I saw plenty of ankhs there. So I'm grateful that the family that I winded up marrying into still practices the traditional African spirituality system and still has ankhs and symbols and things and edifices like that still represent us in their home. So I just got real lucky. What I would say to you on the other side of that is that Christianity is wide spread in Ghana. Okay?
Mm.
Widespread. It has ran rampant like cancer. It has
And
ran rampant like cancer.
they have their Caucasian Jesuses plastered all over the place. Be
Yes,
honest.
yes. They have pictures of white Jesus on their taxis, their personal vehicles, billboards, homes, churches, even like how we got stop signs in our neighborhood?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we have just signs like poles with the picture of white Jesus on the corner, just
Mm.
yeah. And,
And this is not a put down on Ghana. This is just exposing. Well, you don't have to be exposed, already known. For those who don't understand or don't know how far reached, how far we reached, these Europeans have enslaved the minds of our people all over the continent. They took the chains off of us, right? But the worst form of slavery is mental slavery. And what do they use? They manipulate our spirituality, because we're spiritual people, and they give you what? Religion. And religion and spirituality is totally the opposite. Look at the word religion, the etymology, the Latin religio, which means to bind, and yeah, religio. If I'm saying it right, religio, yep, means to bind. You can look that up. I'm saying that correctly. So religion is not to free us, but to bind us. I'm not going to get into a seminar with that one, but we have been religionized. That's why I want to ask that question. Have our people been that way in Ghana?
Mhm.
Did you get saved, sister, in Jesus' name while you was in Ghana?
Okay.
I'm being funny now.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I would just say that I probably did that before I went to Ghana. Um, you know, you make a great point when you talk about the spreading of Christianity. And what I would want to say is that it's a very, very, very important topic because while I am over there, I am seeing our melanated people work tooth to nail each and every day to keep each other happy, healthy, organized, and all of that. When I'm in Ghana, I do not see an organized system of having a firehouse or
Mm,
police officers that are so organized or military style. You're not going to have the ambulance that's up and running and things
mm,
of that nature. So what I'm seeing around me is melanated people who are being ambulance with their own personal vehicles. They are coming to your home as herbalists to heal you because you may not be going to the local hospital because maybe you may not have a lot of money. I'm seeing people around there cooking and treating disease through food and things like malnutrition, and then
mm,
turn around and go to church and thank Jesus and the white man for saving them and providing
mm.
their needs and healing them from all their sicknesses, when it is actually each and every one of the people in the house who have done that for each other all throughout the week.
Ashe. Ashe. I used to be there. I used to be enslaved like that some years ago. Oh, yes. And was trained to enslave other minds that way. And when I woke up, they said I was crazy. I was an antichrist. I was a heretic. Satan got me because my eyes was open. That's what I don't bash religious people. I understand. I used to be there. But it is a very powerful, dangerous thing, you know. But hey, just want to share my heart a little bit. I'm listening, sister. Go ahead.
Okay, well, we all think everybody had that goes through this experience, what they call being a black sheep. And
Mm,
I would just tell you that being the black sheep is actually a very, very powerful position. So, you know, your calling is not taken lightly. And although people may have rejected you, we welcome you into the light.
thank you.
So what I would say is that, you know, talking about spirituality is actually very, very important because, while I was in Ghana, I sat idly by sometimes just being an observer and watching the way that people do business and interact with each other and things of that nature. And I seen that they had everything there to sustain themselves and the world.
Mm-hmm.
And many are suffering from a poverty mindset because of religion. What they are doing is that they are not uh, seeing that they have the ability to be able to organize and to be able to protect their own goods and materials and be able to produce their own goods and be able to distribute because they think that the sky and the heavens are going to open up one day and
Mm,
that Jesus is going to come down here on earth and save them from their conditions. So they'll take their money and invest it in the church instead of investing it in like economics and practicing umoja
mm-hmm.
and things like that together. And
Mm-hmm.
another thing that I realized too is that they will take their time and pray to Jesus for the miracle. And then when I go to the market area, I see every single thing to sustain yourself in the market area. And then very little trading amongst each other. So
Mm,
I may see a woman selling fish who will work hard to sell fish to get paper money from me so she could take that paper money and go to her neighbor to get tomatoes because they see the value is in the paper and not in the product.
got you.
So that was very disturbing to me because
Mm-hmm.
many had their needs met and many didn't. And the ones who didn't, it was because they couldn't get the paper. And it wasn't because they were trying to produce something so that they could trade.
Mm,
So it's very important that, the African spiritual system, which included nature, is put back into place because that's when you start to sow seeds and you want to pay homage, to the ancestors for the wind and the air and the water and the sun and the things you need to sustain yourself so you can have a great harvest so you don't have to beg anyone to come and do it for you.
yes. Mm-hmm. Shay. I appreciate you, sister. And you know what? When I met you, I said you're a lamb and a lioness. You're a lamb when you need to be, and a lioness when you have to be. Oh, I see. I hear that lioness come out of you now. That's when I saw new Minister X. I said, "You sister, brother, you got to introduce me to that sister." You know what I'm saying? I said that lioness come out of her, boy. But Sister Nikki, Queen Nikki, she wrote such a great discussion, lots of good info for someone who's preparing to move there next year. Wow,
Hey, yes, yes,
wow, wow.
yes, yes, yes,
They,
yes.
they said knowledge is power.
Yes.
Yes, yes. You want to say something to the Queen Sister Nikki?
Yes, Queen Sister Nikki. What I would tell you, Nikki, is the number one advice that I would give to you is to be strong in yourself when you go. Okay. So what you would have to do is in order to thrive while you are in Ghana, you would have to tap into your purpose and follow your instincts and have patience and take time in all of your endeavors. Don't rush anything. And then just make sure that you set up a strong foundation so that anything that you earn can be protected and while you are there, because that is important too. And if you have any questions, somebody can hit me up.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they can hit me up and send me a message on Facebook. It's Sirius Bee, SIRIUSBEE. Put a comment in the comment section of the YouTube video, and I'll be happy to answer any of your questions.
Beautiful. Ashe. Okay. Anything else, sister, you want to share?
Hmm. I guess what I would say is that it is important, it is imperative that people take the time to see the value in learning more about your culture and your history, and then apply that information to your life on a daily basis. Because African spirituality, for me, I feel like has extended my life and able to bring me here to be able to bring you the message, because I was struggling um, plenty before I got into practicing African spirituality. So I'm grateful for um, Anya Weebly's support and the fact that he was even offering classes to learn about my art and those principles and things like that. So if you want to learn more about African spirituality in terms of the principles of my art, or maybe, some things you may be eating, because that's a whole nother topic, is your gut is connected to
Mm.
spirituality also. So I see that you've been touching on topics about, making better choices with food to raise your vibration
Mm-hmm.
and other mental health issues too. So I would just tell people to tune into your channel so
Thank you.
they can get the latest and greatest information and how
Mm-hmm.
to keep this thing going.
Yep. And when you tune in, you can see other videos we have there. Choose any one you like. Feed yourself and your family. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? I guarantee you, when you listen to any of them, you're gonna get something out of it. You know, something, something. Won't be to waste your time. All right, Ashe.
Sure.
Queen sister, I can go on forever. But I don't want to hold everybody here too long. We're going on an hour and a half,
Hmm.
and we have like around 15 more minutes. Um,
Okay.
I can whatever you like to talk about, sister.
Okay.
Miss Sister May Tune. What's up, Queen sister? Thank you for tuning in to the platform and listen to our Queen sister Sirius B and your
Peace, Sister
brother
May. I want to know if
Amandla.
anybody in the audience has
Amandla.
any questions. Who is
Um,
it? Emmanuel?
huh?
You said his name was Emmanuel.
Which one?
What's the last name you just said?
No, I said Queen Maytune.
Oh, Queen Maytune.
Yeah, your sister. Yeah.
I want to know if they have any questions.
Anybody have any questions? You want to type in some questions? I subscribe. Thank you, Nikki, Queen Nikki. Thank you. My first one in 500,000 years. Thank you. We need to send you a check that we don't got yet. Thank you, Queen Nikki. Spread the
Yes,
word. You one of
yes.
our you one of our team players.
Yes, I want to know if anybody has any questions about, going there and things like that. So and while we're waiting for questions, I want to share something. I would tell you that if you're going, and you really want to have a real experience and or whatever, just know that there's insects and animals and things like that. So you have to go with no fear. I'm talking to you now. If you decide to go, you can't have any fear. You can't be over there like, is that a dragonfly? Oh. Like, there's
Talking to
dragonflies.
me?
Yes.
I'm a fisherman, so that
Okay.
stuff don't scare me.
Okay.
I'm listening though. Go ahead.
All right. So maybe just for the audience, you're gonna have every creepy and crawly, just like the Bible said, every creepy and crawly thing that exists on the universe is found in Africa, and you may or may not see it.
Wow.
So just be prepared.
Wow.
Yeah.
What was it like? You seen like wild animals? You seen any lions out there? Or, I don't. I'm not good with geographics, but what kind of hyenas or something? What?
Okay. I didn't go to any safari areas to see that, but I did see local animals like goats and cows and chicken and cats and dogs, and they roam freely on the land throughout. No one keeps these on a chain or a leash or
Mm-hmm.
anything like that. I did see camel at the local like a local slaughter market,
Mm-hmm.
and I did see some ram. Those animals are in the Bible. They're gonna have the blood of ram. They use that for
Mm-hmm.
slaughtering. I mean, they use it for many purposes, but they also use it in rituals.
Okay.
Um, yeah, and I saw, like amphibians, frogs, lizards, just all kinds of birds, falcons, and just yeah.
What was the weirdest? I know we talked about eating already, but it's one because you talking about animals. What was the weirdest thing you ate that you have
Okay.
never eaten when you was here in America?
Snails.
Oh, okay.
Snails. Yeah.
Okay.
So then any questions come in?
I have a brother who wrote. Nick, Queen Nikki said yes, yes, ma'am. Thank you. I will message you if I have a question. Thanks. Our brother Kiamu, he says, what's the relationship between Ghana and the other African peoples? How do they look at each other, work with each other? How do they, Ghana and other African people or cultures? I mean, not cultures, but what I'm saying, places.
Okay. So
Do
that's
they
a good
see?
question.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand. So what I would say is it's just like with anywhere in the world, they work together cohesively to get things done in an organized manner. And then there are some people who have stereotypes, or maybe they've had some type of bad interaction, where then they're gonna have their beefs. And when I say beef, sometimes it's beefs about you know, where a certain dish is cooked the best. Ghanaians might say I cook it better. Nigerians might say we cook it better, or some type of clothing style or things like that. So they work together, then they have their differences too.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I have another question. This is very very important. I think is malaria a real threat when first entering the country? Because I have a autoimmune disease, and I will heal myself once I get to Ghana.
Mm.
That's
Wow,
a
that is an
interesting
excellent,
question.
excellent
Yeah,
question.
yeah.
Okay, so this is what I would tell you. Malaria is real and it does exist. Okay. You have options. Um, I don't know. I'm not gonna say whether you should or not, but I do know that before you go, you should go to your doctor and see what their recommendations are, because that's what I did. So sometimes the doctors can recommend that you take prescriptions, pills, and then the prescriptions will like build up your immune system to be able to deal with getting malaria, but it doesn't stop you from getting it. Okay. If you're not a person who want to take prescription medication, then what I did, I never contracted malaria the entire time I was there. And then I want to just give a thankful shout out to the family who took care of me, because what they did was I just drank herbs, natural remedies every single day, a part of my everyday living, to kind of like build my immune system to be able to deal with getting infected. So I never had any symptoms of malaria. So for example, neem is very plenty in Ghana. It grows everywhere. And neem
Mhm.
is an herb that they use to cure malaria. And it also helps to ward it off. So I would go outside, get the neem leaves, wash them with salt water, and then steep them and start to drink neem 2 or 3 times a day. And not just neem, other herbs like moringa and turmeric and ginger and things like that, because I knew that if I stayed there a long time, I couldn't take prescription pills. But I didn't see people do get malaria, and it does make people very ill. It does. It makes people very, very ill, and
Mm.
most people survive it. And there has been some deaths, but for the most part, the locals, like I said, they're ambulance. You feel real comfortable once you get into the community because they know how to react right away. As soon as you tell somebody you got a symptom, there's somebody that knows what to do for you right away.
Yes. Beautiful. Brother Kevin Brown, Hotep King, thank you for tuning in on tonight, man. Great to see you tonight, my brother. I need to talk to you later on too. Not emergency, but maybe I want to get you on here too one day, brother. But anyway, seriously. Okay, sis, anything else want to share that you didn't share, or have any closing remarks? Oh, matter of fact, let me back up. Anybody else have any more questions before our sister get off? Because we're not going to try to rush nothing off. You have any more questions? You're welcome to just to share, ask the questions. Any more questions? Just type it on in. And next time you come on, I could bring you on like you see her. I could bring your face in too when I see you in the link. So we're going to up it up too, so you could come in. All right, so hang with us. Hang with us. Not tonight though, but we're going to be doing this, okay? How was the feeling when you were, this is Sis Queen Naisha, how was the feeling when you were standing at the equator?
Oh, wow. Peace, love, and night. Thanks for the question. When I made it to the equator, which was latitude 0, longitude 0, I felt very, very surprised and very proud of myself, because I remember when I was a young girl, when I would watch movies, they always gave the perception that being at the equator line was very hot, right, and oppressive, and that you maybe even could pass out, that is so hot. So when I got there and felt the heat, now I'm not telling you that it's not hot. It is hot, but it wasn't the hot that you would pass out. So I was very shocked. And so I was like, okay, that was a misnomer. I'm at the equator line. And then also I would tell you is that the temperature is balanced there in that particular area during the day. So the daylight hours and nighttime hours. So it's like sun rises at 6, sun sets at 6, and then the temperature gets as high as 100, and then it goes low to about 70, and it's like that every single day. So you have very, very hot days, and then at night it becomes very, very comfortable. So it felt, exciting. That's it.
Okay. All right. Anybody else? And I'm glad to see that people tuned in on YouTube. This is something new. That many people came on YouTube. They usually come on Facebook. Yeah. So while you're on YouTube, subscribe, like, share, press the notification button, the bell, so that when we come on, you'll see what we got. Okay, you'll see the content that we're putting out there. We put it out there every week. Okay, Sundays and during the weekdays. We pick, it's not a certain day, but you will definitely get notified. Notification that we're on. Okay, we would love for you to do that. Please do that. Appreciate you. Touch your brother heart. All right. I'm learning, Queen Sirius Bee. Am I learning?
Yes. You're getting good at self-promotion. So I'm going to bounce off of you quickly and say, if anybody would like to support me, they could click the link in the bio. Anything that you support me with, yes. I do go to Ghana, and there are improvements being made there and things of that nature. So, and I'm also going to help to unite some people. So that is it. But I look forward. I hope you have me back another time.
Well, I'm glad that you would like to, because I don't want you to say, man, I ain't coming on there no more. I don't like him. I don't like his energy. I'm glad you want to come back on. I want you back on.
Yes.
I know you wouldn't say that, but I want you to come back on so we can deal
Okay.
with another topic. You definitely you on the team, Queen.
Okay. All right.
Only
Well,
qualified people, OQPs.
OQP, only qualified people,
Yes,
and God in Action Ministries.
yes. And those of you, I want to share something with you, my brothers and sisters. Let me show this real quick. Those of you is at the bottom of the screen who who have an expertise, who like to teach. You want to be on a platform where you can share your information that you have studied and you know about. Email me.
Mhm.
Email me, brothers or sisters. Email me. OQPs, only qualified people. Okay, I don't like coming here or just going off the top of their head, or they got a strong feeling from the spirit. They want to say something. Somebody who's really into what they do. We would love for you to share your information on this platform. You know what I'm saying? And you have, if you don't have a platform, you have one. You'll have one here. And if you are used to bigger platforms to be on, we'd love to invite you on this one. Help us grow. Help us grow. All right. So you can email me at the bottom of the screen. Okay. If you have something that you can share that you're versed in and you want to share with the people, to elevate and empower the people, please contact me. Let me know. All right. Bottom of the screen, y'all. All right. Queen Sirius Bee, I'm gonna let you close us out. Yeah, you
Okay.
have something else to say before we close out?
So I would just like to close out and say that I am always grateful for experience to share, and that it is my desire that everyone who has tuned in today would manifest their heart's desires, and to remember to always be serious about your dreams.
I say. And did you share your site where you sell your products that you? Because I still have. Remember, you was going away to Ghana. You was preparing to go away to Ghana, and I ran into you at the post office, and I got some. What do you call it? You burned the
Sage.
sage.
Yes.
Say, I bought a big one and a small. You know, I still have that.
Okay.
I
So
still
that's
have it.
telling me that you need the sage. But thank you. Yeah, so the link is in my Facebook bio, or they can go on Google and search Sirius Bees Gifts. So Sirius space BEESGIFTS. And you'll see there's an e-com shop there that sells sage, Palo Santo. I even have some artwork that I imported from Ghana, and
Hmm.
some copper and brass bracelets to help amplify your energy and to help you with African spirituality. So when Anya Weeblay gives his services, you can get the knowledge and the downloads and information stored. So click the link in my bio on Facebook so you can get that information stored.
Ashe. Ashe. Yep. And I'm gonna be hitting you up. I'm gonna be getting something from you, sister. Okay.
Okay, so I wanted to tell you this too, is I actually brought back some you see this?
Yes.
This is from Ghana. This is the ground. The ground kicks this out. So I had
Oh.
brought plenty of this back, and I remember when I had went, you said you wanted some of the earth.
Yes.
So I got some for you.
Okay, Ashe. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Whatever you know, I'll give you something for it. And you gave me I think some money.
Mm.
Do you remember that? You came to our spiritual house that's on a Sunday. You said
Hmm.
I didn't bring the rock back or anything, but here I'll give you this. It was some money that you gave me. It was a
Oh,
bill. You don't remember
okay.
that? I have it right in my right there. I'm not gonna get it right now in my
Oh,
picture frame.
oh, the money that I gave you from Ghana.
Yeah,
Yes, the currency. Yes, the
the
currency.
currency.
Yes.
Yes, the currency.
So you can have some blackface currency.
Okay.
Yeah, Because it looks like Harriet Tubman was a what? That was just an empty promise.
That was a daggone pacifier to keep black folks satisfied while they keep running, dogging us. Give us a daggone bridge, name a bridge after us, put a statue in the daggone park, name a street after us, but they won't give us reparations. They won't pass no laws that will protect black life. That's all pacified. Put Black Lives Matters on the street where the rain will wash that crap up. We all forget about it. Come on, man. It's all game. All game. You know what I'm saying? Pay
That's
us.
what y'all gonna get. If y'all
Huh?
tune in, that's what y'all gonna get. If y'all tune in, I'm telling you, you're
Man,
gonna
listen,
go
I
in.
ain't patty caking with nobody. Listen, I'm too young for that. What I'm saying, I'll be 60 years old in August. I ain't got no time to be playing no games. Hell,
When
man.
August when? August when?
August 10th, Leo, the
Oh,
lion.
you the Leo energy. Oh, so we in the
Yeah,
season of Leo right now. So shout out to all the Leos out there.
yeah. Nah, man, got no time. I got a lot of beautiful friends, men and women, transitioning at a young age. And hell, I ain't got no time to be playing no games. Today might be my last day. Today
True.
might be your last day. Whatever the Creator has given you a mission to do, carry it out unapologetically, without my sister saying, like my sister say, without fear.
Yes.
Ashe.
Yes. Ashe.
Ashe. Close out, sister. I'm gonna be quiet.
It's a choir, and I feel like we need to turn the organ, get the organist, and start passing around collection plates.
Yeah. Tonight I'm not gonna put up the Cash App, but I'll do it next time. Okay. Next time.
Okay. Well, I'm okay with it. I think that everything is good, so I just look forward to the next time.
Sister Naisha Dozer says, please have her back official issue, I believe.
Official tissue.
You know what? Put it like this. You know what? I spoke too soon. I'm going to put up the Cash App and the PayPal. So we can give our sister something for being on tonight. And what we usually don't collect stuff here. We put it up, but we're gonna give something. We want to give our sister something tonight.
Okay.
If you're on tonight, you felt her energy, her vibe, you appreciate what she shared. Our Cash App, $GIAM number 20. And our PayPal, paypal.me/HOTEP Hotep number 2. All right. If it's for your sister, put down for Queen Bee or for SB. It's for the ministry, put down for ministry. All right. And whatever goes to her, we will give to her. This was not gonna. I wasn't not gonna do this tonight, but I say, hey, why not? Why not? Why not? Because we don't charge for what we do. All right. We love you too much. All right.
Yes. Thank you.
But it costs
I'm
money
grateful.
to do this, huh?
Yes. Yes, it costs money to do this. It costs a currency in exchange. So I'm grateful for whatever may come.
Yeah, the lights, the software, the cameras, the light bill, the internet, that costs money. But we're not putting burden on you. But if you want to bless our sister tonight, want you to come on in and those of you who have the heart to do it today, who can do it today, we thank you in advance. Those of you who cannot share tonight, we pray that the Creator will bless you with more than enough for you and your family, that next time you'll be able to bless someone else. All right? Ashe.
Ashe.
You have anything else to say at the end, sister?
Nope, nothing else. That's it.
Okay.
I'm good.
Just how we close out, brothers and sisters, we leave out of here as we came in. We leave out of here with a hotep, which means peace. Raise that beautiful melanated fish, y'all. Whatever fish color of fish you have, raise that fish, y'all. Raise it 3 times. We're going to say, Amandla, 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 which means power. Power to the people. Our time is up. We thank you so much. Hope to see you again, my brothers and sisters. Peace out. Queen Bee, thank you.
Mm.
I'll talk to you.